Welcome back. Well, the market has now turned and it's soaring actually. Look at some of the names like Eicher Motors. In fact, this is a fresh 52-week high on Eicher Motors, 3.5% higher on that one. Mahindra and Mahindra as well is pretty close to its 52-week high. So that's the one pocket of the market which has done well, the autos. And of course, the others also making a bit of a comeback. Tata Steel, Kotak Mahindra Bank is bouncing back a bit after yesterday's decline. So let's see what the rest of the day has for us. Allcargo Logistics is one stock which is in our focus. It's posted good Q1 earnings with multimodal logistics leading revenue growth and losses narrowing in the express distribution segment. To discuss the outlook and timeline of the demerger plan announced late last year, we are joined by V.S. Parthasarathy, Vice Chairman at Allcargo Logistics. Mr. Parthasarathy, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. So let's talk about the demerger first, because the state is expecting when is it likely to come into effect? If you could give us some timelines.
Thank you. Thank you, and it's always nice to be on your show. The demerger process is progressing on expected lines. This is a process which takes anywhere between 12 and 15 months, given the way NCLT is working now and the progress that we are making. So we are on target. We already filed the scheme, and we got some positive momentum by dispensing off with some things we didn't need to do. So we expect to finish this by the end of this financial year in terms of what happens. And if it gets delayed, it may spill into April or May, but that's the kind of time frame, March to May.
Okay, so by the end of the financial year, you will this entire process will be done. What will the revenue and margin profile look like of each vertical?
Yeah, so
after the demerger?
Yeah, so basically Sonia, thanks. One of the key things to look at is that we have had MTO, which is a business, the seafaring business, where, as you put up in your chart even, so it's a revenue growth which is 5,600. The 90% of this revenue comes from that MTO business. Now, one of the key factors of the other 10% businesses, in some sense, we said we want to be asset light and so on. While the real estate business, which is the warehousing and the thing, or the ICD and CFS business, they need capital to grow. So we are liberating these two. And while when we start with, already Gati's revenue and bottom line, the 90% of the top line that you're showing here comes from MTO. The balance 10% is of the other two verticals. But what would happen as we liberate them, they can become small cap to medium cap and large cap over a period of time. And that's what we are planning to do, liberating the three entities to earn. But when you start, Allcargo will retain most of the revenue. The other two will have smaller revenues, but it will go faster and larger very quickly. And I'm sure I'll have the right kind of investors in each of the company to take it forward.
So will you at any point merge Gati into Allcargo?
So Gati is a listed co, and it remains so at this point of time. There is one announcement, however, which is coming. I wanted to draw your attention, which is in terms of restructuring in Gati. There are discussion going on with KWE, our partner, and one of the discussion is also to buy that stake. And then this subsidiary company will become 100% owned company if it happens. And then some restructuring, which is not yet finalized. Discussions are happening. As soon as we are ready with our mind, with the decision how we want to go forward, we will come back to it. But to reiterate, Gati is a listed co and remains so.
For now, Mr. Parthasarathy, right? What you're telling us is that discussions are on to buy out the partner stake.
Yeah, KWC, there is a subsidiary company under Gati called Gati KWE. And the part of the discussion is to restructure this. There is a listed co, like a holding co, and then there is Gati KWE, which has partnership. It doesn't make sense. It may make more sense to combine operation in one form or the other. What we are saying is that we are in discussion with KWE to buy out their stake in the subsidiary company, Gati KWE.
Right. No, to the question of whether Gati itself will be merged into Allcargo, I mean, is there any...
So I said Gati remains a listed co, and that's what I reiterated. So Rest is as soon as we are clear about the restructuring, after discussion with our partners, we may be able to talk more about how the restructuring will happen. But I just wanted to reiterate that it remains a listed company, and that's an important armory for us and arsenal for us.
Okay, sure. Can you give us some numbers? What is the run rate of the MTO business per quarter that we're looking at? 5,000 crores, 6,000 crores. I mean, just some kind of ballpark numbers.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And Sonia, that's a very important question. Last quarter was one of the toughest quarters that we had faced in the sense of what was happening in Ukraine, what was happening in China. Yeah. And all the kind of headwinds that we are facing. And the rates have also started to soften. In this context, it's very rewarding and very positive thing to note is that we had the highest ever volume last quarter of Allcargo in terms of the business, MTO business that you're talking about, 2,338 kbm in LCL and the 137 kTU in FCL. So this is what is the revenue of 5,675, most of it coming from MTO, where the profit also doubled and the PAT was 2.5 times, etc. And quarter on quarter also, both the yields as well as profitability improved and volumes also improved. So we are in a very good kind of a position, and that in the coming quarters is what we want to consolidate and improve on.
Okay. Can you tell us about the capacity expansion plans that you would have now that this whole demerger process is done? What is the funds that you will be putting to work?
Yeah. So thank you. And that is, again, Sonia, a very interesting question, because what we have done is that we had started about 1,800 crores last year, same time in terms of debt. Yeah, I'm happy to say that the debt, instead of 4 digits, have come to 3 digits in this quarter, with us having about $80 million or 500 crores roughly in our bank. Yeah. And the net debt has come below 1,000 crores. Well below 1,000 crores. So we are ready with our arsenal to look for opportunities which will help us scale as we go forward. So we are not saying we do X or Y, but that we have the ability to help all the 3 listed co in due course of time to find their own way. Okay. And Gati anyway, last quarter has done very well to turn profitable already in the previous quarter. So we will hope that we have enough money to make all these guns, all the auto fire on all cylinders, as they say.